just have a bit of a 2-minute warm-up, John, because you've been on the bank for a while. Okay. Okay, so if you remember last week, John, we did the stern rudder, and you went away with a different idea in your head, because I was trying to teach you with the shaft down by the side of the boat, but it's quite permissible to lift the shaft as long as the blade is submerged towards the rear of the boat. So, having worked on it over the last few days, just give it a go using how I showed you last week and how you've been working on it, and we'll see if you've made any improvement. At the end of the day, it's what you feel is more efficient. So that's running quite straight. So have a go at the method that you've been practicing now. Okay, so you're coming in a sec, John. We haven't got ruddering on here, so I'll use steering, shall I? Okay. So, of the two methods now, which one do you prefer? Yes, I was going to say, you've improved with your body rotation and with the blade over the side. The only thing, when you put the shaft parallel with the side of the boat, in order to make the rudder work, your hand's in the water, which you may not want to do. Whereas when you put some angle on the shaft, obviously you can get a full submersion of the blade without putting your hand in your water, can't you? So if you just paddle off and try it on both sides, so you've done it bilaterally, and just think about where your hand is. so you've got your hands out in the water there to save them getting wet, which obviously on a really cold day you might find more comfortable. Easier on your right hand side, yeah. Obviously you've got a bit of current here, but your boat is flat and you're looking where you were going, which last week you were looking at the blade to see where you were putting the blade. Well, now you're focusing on where you're going, which is obviously a plus point, and you're not having to turn around and see where your blade is, so you are looking where you're going, which keeps the boat flat, because obviously if you're ruddering, most of the time you're going to be flat. Yeah. So paddle off and do it on your right hand side, both the old method with the shaft parallel with the boat, and then come back and still paddling on the same side with the blade submerged but the shaft at an angle, and then just compare the two and see if there's a noticeable difference. Okay, if you come back, John. Yeah, so which, now that you can compare the two and you've become more efficient at both of them, which do you think actually steers the boat better? Okay. Yes. So that's one of the advantages of this stroke, and I always think you really get a feel for the water, and as you say, by pushing and pulling you can see how you can turn the boat and get some yaw. There's a slight flow on the water which makes it means you've got to compensate for that, which you're doing quite efficiently, because you're keeping it going in a straight line despite the fact that the current is trying to shift you about. So it's working quite well. And obviously a vast improvement from last week, when obviously you were spinning, weren't you, and turning. Now the boat's tracking in a nice straight line, so it looks far more efficient. Yeah, I was just going to send you off now. So try on the other side, obviously. Try both methods. So with the shaft parallel with the side of the boat, and then angle it to suit yourself. Lovely. What I saw there is when you placed the blade, and as you started to turn, you could see that you corrected it, didn't you? Yeah, and then got it tracking in a straight line. So you've got a good feel for that now, which right. So yeah, you found your own comfort zone, I suppose. Yeah, which is good, because when I I do it with the shaft and the side. I do the same. I rest my arms on the side of the boat. Obviously takes the pressure off your arms and makes it more comfortable and relaxed. It looks more efficient and more elegant. So what I'm going to throw in now is see if you can do a reverse rudder. So paddle backwards, and what you have to do, where's my shaft? It's quite difficult. So you're going backwards, and then you have to cross your arm and do that, so that the blade, yeah, well, you're reversing, and then it's a bit like Phil Hadley's baton twirl, but instead of going that way, you're going that way, so you're going backwards. Just practice it while you're not moving. That's it. So that arm got to come right across and become. It's really quite tricky. It's just throwing it in to. So it's like that, John, your arm's got to come across your face. So try, no, like that. That's it. Got it? It's not easy, I'm just throwing this in for a bit of variety. That's it. I'm not sure, it's really just a challenge, because I'm not sure I can't think of an instance on the river where we'd use it, but I have seen people play with it, but not for any purpose. That's it. But the further that top arm goes out, now the shaft wants to be, that's it. So pull the bottom arm in, that's it, yeah? And then that acts then exactly the same as your stern rudder, but it's there while you're going backwards. So if ever you decided you wanted to surf a wave backwards, you might have to use that. How is it? I believe it. That's it. But you've got it now. That's the, yeah. It's a bit like when Phil asked me to do the Colorado hook. And because it's not embedded, you start getting confused. Yeah. Anyway, that was just something, a bit of divergence in it, just to throw that into. So, paddle in a straight line, do your stern rudder, and then put a sweep out as if you were trying to park next to the bank. In fact, you can paddle to the bank if you like, head on towards the bank, stern rudder, and then just so you finish parallel with the bank. Park. Do you understand what I'm saying? So paddle towards. Yeah, just put a reverse sweep into to park your boat parallel with the bank. If you start over there, paddle towards that bank, going in a straight line, then just as you, or you can paddle towards here and just land. obviously didn't explain that very well. If you come here and paddle directly up the bank in a straight line, stern rudder, and then just before you hit the bank, just put a reverse sweep in so that you park. Imagine it's